Up at 6 o'clock in the morning with the roosters crowing or whatever they do. And it's first quarter moon today, and it's Sunday, so it's the Sabbath day, I do believe. And I'm trying to take the day off, and I'm still up early as crap. I can't sleep in for nothing. So, since I'm taking the day off, which is dang near impossible, because I'm still probably going to sharpen some chainsaws, gather a little bit of firewood, because I can't live without that. So, and really on the Sabbath, I try just to not really do any labor. I try my best to take the day off, which it's just really hard because I have so much little stuff that I need to do, like sharpening the saws, gathering firewood, and fixing food. Really, I believe in the Bible, it pretty much tells you you're supposed to do all of that like the day before, have all of that prepared for the Sabbath so you don't have to do any of that stuff. And it's so crazy how almost impossible it is. You know, the Most High, he pretty much demands you to have a blessed day off, and none of us can freaking do it. You know what I mean? It's almost impossible, especially for people that have a Monday through Friday job with the pagan calendar. So, I don't know. I think today while I'm doing little stuff that I got to do, I kind of want to talk about that. It has to do with the moon phases and what I believe is the actual Sabbath. And this is just for fun and entertainment purposes only. I'm not trying to teach anyone anything or tell people that they're doing wrong or anything like that. It's just something I'm very interested in. And I just figured, since I'm kind of taking a day off, it'd be maybe a cool video to talk about and just to show some evidence of some of the moon phases being 7 days apart, and maybe even read a couple Bible verses today about it. So if you're not into that stuff and you're going to get offended, you might not, want to stick around. But if you want to hear some of my ideas and some of my beliefs and what I think the Sabbath is, it's pretty interesting. The Bible says that the Most High, he put the sun and the moon and the stars in the sky basically for light and a calendar. The sun basically is your day clock. The moon is kind of your monthly clock. And then the stars are more like a yearly clock. And I believe that you can actually literally go by it. And I think that is the real calendar, instead of the calendar that we go by and that we've been taught over the years to follow. All right, so I shared this on Facebook just so I could show you guys. December 1st was the new moon. December 8th, first quarter, which is today. Full moon is December 15th. Third quarter, December 22nd. So, December 1 to the 8th, that's 7 days. 8th to the 15th, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that one's a day off. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you count the first, so second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 7 days. 15th to the 22nd. So 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, 21, 22. So all of these are 7 days apart. So December 2024, you have the 1st, which is Sunday, the 8th, which is Sunday, 15th, which is Sunday, and then the 22nd, which is Sunday. So then you have the 29th, you see 22nd, yeah, 7 days again on Sunday. So the month of December, all of them land on Sunday. So the month of December, it makes you feel good. You're like, yeah, I went to church on Sunday, celebrated the Sabbath, you know, all through December. You did a good job. You actually did what you're supposed to do, what the Most High told you to do. He was like, take a break, go to church, go out to eat, don't work, just hang out and enjoy your day with family and friends, and you know, go to church and listen to the word and read the Bible, right? So now I want to show you some of the other months, because you know, for our whole lives we've been either going to church on Saturday or Sunday. All right, so October 2024 of October, I just looked up moon phases, October 2024. So I believe that's new moon, basically when you have no moon, right? Wanting gibbous, that's like half. Full moon, first quarter, and new moon. So you have the 3rd, 10th, 17th, 24th, and the 31st. So let's remember that. 3, 10, 17, 24, 31st. So 3, 10, 17, 24, 31st. So all those are on Thursday in October. Saturday. That month. November. Yeah, that's right. December was Sunday. Today's Sunday. So November, Saturday, October, Friday. But I've noticed over the months of doing this, I haven't done it perfect. A lot of the time I forget to even check the dang moon phase for the month, and I'm just so busy, but I really try to keep it in mind and keep up with it and really take those days off by the moon. And I've noticed that every month it's a different day, and I've just noticed how impossible it is for people that go by the pagan calendar, how when you work a Monday through Friday job, it's almost impossible to take the day off by the moon, like I believe that is the calendar that shows what day the Sabbath is every month. So like I said, it's just my theory, something that I believe in and something that I'm trying to do in my life, and just for entertainment, just to have a discussion. I'm not telling anybody they're doing wrong or anything like that. I don't judge people. You're allowed to believe what you believe. You know, Most High gave you free will to do whatever you want, and that's what I kind of do. Obviously, out here, I'm just kind of going with my free will and kind of doing what I want, trying to be happy and trying to do the best I can. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of show a little bit of evidence. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? So, but I want to find this thing that I screenshot from the book of Enoch, which is also can be a little confusing, but it's just very, very interesting. Okay, so I'm not going to read this whole thing, but this is the Book of the Heavenly Luminaries, chapter 72 in the Book of Enoch. The book of the courses of the luminaries of the heaven, the relations of each according to their classes, their dominion, and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which Uriel, the holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it was with regard to all the years of the world, and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished, which dureth till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, and its setting in the western portals of the heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets, and the moon rises and sets in these portals. And the leaders of the stars, and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other in accurately corresponding order. Also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first there goes forth the great luminary named the sun, and his circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is also guided that he comes to the appropriate lit that portal and shines in the face of the heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the 4th, those 6 portals in the east. And in that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the first month, there are 12 window openings from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that 4th portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period, the day becomes daily longer, and the nightly shorter to the 13th morning. On that day, the day is longer than the night by the 9th part, and the day accounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that 4th portal and sets in the 4th and returns to the 5th portal. It goes on and on. I mean, it's pretty long telling you, Enoch actually telling you how the sun and the moon and stuff work in the heavens. So it's quite a bit and an interesting read if you're interested. But he's basically telling you that the Most High put these up there, and they work in order, and they have duties, and basically saying that they're spirits and they go through portals and come out other portals, and it's just a big clock, when the evil one down there, he wants you to think that all this stuff is just by coincidence, and that we're up there spinning and everything's erratic and crazy, and it just coincidentally the sun just accidentally comes up at the same time in the morning and goes down into a portal at the same time every evening. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting stuff. If you ever want to get the Book of Enoch and read it, it can really wake you up if you have an open mind and actually want to kind of forget a lot of the stuff that you've been taught and want to actually learn some stuff with an open mind. All right, let me read this one. It's chapter 73. It's a little shorter. This one is about the moon. And after this law, I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary, which is named the moon, and her circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind, and light is given to her in definite measure, and her rising and setting change every month, and her days are like the days of the sun, and when her light is uniform, full, it amounts to the 7th part of the light of the sun. And thus she rises, and her first phase in the east comes forth on the 13th morning, and on that day she becomes visible and constitutes for the first phase of the moon on the 13th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. And the one half of her goes forth by a 7th part, and her whole circumference is empty, without light, with the exception of 1/7 part of it, and the 14th part of her light. And when she receives 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part and the half thereof. And she sits with the sun, and when the sun rises, the moon rises with him and receives the half of 1 part of light. And in the night, in the beginning of her morning, in the commencement of the lunar day, the moon sets with the sun and is invisible that night with the 14th parts and the half of 1 of them. And she rises on that day with exactly a 7th part, and comes forth and recedes from the rising of the sun, and in her remaining days she becomes bright, and in the remaining 13 parts. And chapter 74 is about her also. And I saw another course, a law for her, and how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution. And all these Uriel and the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me in their positions, and I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me, and I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights, till 15 days were accomplished. In single 7th part she accomplishes all her light in the east, and in single 7th parts accomplishes all her darkness in the west. And in certain months she alters her settings, and in certain months she pursues her own peculiar course. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun in those 2 middle portals. 3rd and the 4th she goes forth for 7 days and runs about and returns again through the portal where the sun rises, and accomplishes all her light, and she recedes from the sun, and in 8 days enters the 6 portals from which the sun goes forth. I believe that's saying that basically the sun is charging her. You know what I mean? She's getting her power from the sun. And when the sun goes forth from the fourth portal, she goes forth 7 days until she goes forth from the fifth and turns back again in 7 days into the fourth portal and accomplishes all her light. And she recedes and enters into the first portal in 8 days, and she returns again in 7 days into the fourth portal from the which the 10 sun goes forth. Thus I saw their position, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days. And if 5 years are added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days, and all the days which accrue to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amount to 364 days, and the overplus of the sun and of the stars amounts to 6 days. In 5 years, 6 days every year come to 30 days, and the moon falls behind the sun and starts to the number 30 days. And the sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, so they do not advance or delay their position by a single day until eternity, but complete the years with perfect justice in 364 days. Perfect justice. It's not erratic. It's not an accident. In 3 years there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years 1,820 days, so that in 8 years there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone, the days amount to 3 years to 1,062 days, and in 5 years she falls 50 days behind. To the sum of 1,770, there's 5 to be added, 1,062 days, and in 5 years there are 1,770 days, so that for the moon, the 6 in 8 years amount to 21,832 days. For in 8 years she falls behind to the amount of 80 days. All the 17 days she falls behind in 8 years are 80. And the year is accurately completed in conformity with their world stations and the stations of the sun, which rise from the portals through which the sun rises and sets 30 days. So that's pretty much all I screenshotted out of the book of Enoch. But he's pretty much telling you that it's perfect. There ain't no accidents, there ain't no, chaos up there. They're literally going through portals and stuff. And I have read that the sun does charge the moon, and they're like a thing. It's kind of a romance between them. And the sun is the high saint, the most loyal to God. He works 24/7 and never takes a break. And the moon does get breaks. She does her thing, and she gets days off, like when there's no moon. So, you just have to have an open mind with some of this stuff. And it's very interesting to me. I love it. I love the moon and the sun. I see it in so much differently now, and just the romance and the stars are actually angels. He was telling you about Uriel, I guess is that angel's name, that's like in charge. He's like the president, you know what I mean, of like controlling all of that stuff. All right, I found the one I was talking about. So this is very interesting here, so I have to share this, chapter 78. I was sitting here looking for it. And the names of the sun are the following: the first, Orjars, and the second, Thomas. And the moon has 4 names. The first name is Osanya, the second, Ebla, the third Benes, and the fourth Ire. There are two great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of the heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. So they're the same size as same. In the circumference of the sun, there are 7 portions of light, which are added to it more than to the moon, and in definite measures it is transferred till the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. And they set and enter the portals of the west and make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals on the face of the heaven. And when the moon rises, 1/14th part appears in the heaven. The light becomes full in her. On the 14th day, she accomplishes her light, and 15 parts of light are transferred to her till the 15th day, when her light is accomplished according to the sign of the year, and she becomes 15 parts, and the moon grows by the addition of 14 parts. And in her waning, the moon decreases on the first day to 14 parts of her light, on the second to 13 parts of light, on the third to 12, on the fourth to 11, on the fifth to 10, on the sixth to 9, on the seventh to 8, on the 8th to 7, on the 9th to 6, on the 10th to 5, on the 11th to 4, on the 12th to 3, on the 13th to 2, on the 14th to half of a 7th, and all her remaining light disappears wholly in the 15th. And in certain months, the month has 29 days, and once 28. And Uriel showed me another law: when the light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred to her by the sun. To me, that's saying the sun is giving her energy and light and charging her. During all the period during which the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself when the opposite to the sun. During 14 days, her light is accomplished in the heaven. And when she is illuminated throughout, her light is accomplished full in the heaven. And on the first day, she is called the new moon, for on that day the light rises upon her. She becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west, and from the east she rises at night, and the moon shines the whole night through till the sun rises over against her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. On the side whence the light of the moon comes forth, there again she wanes till all the light vanishes, and all the days of the month are at an end. And her circumference is empty, void of 5 light. And 3 months she makes of 30 days, and at her time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, and in the first 6 portal for 177 days. And in the time of her going out, she appears for 3 months of 30 days each. And for 3 months she appears of 29 each. And at night she appears like a man for 20 days each time. And by day she appears like the heaven, and there is nothing else in her save her light. And there's also stuff that he tells you about the stars and everything. So if you're interested in what I'm reading, it's the book of Enoch. Alright, so it's windy out here. You got tree branches breaking and crap. I'm just gonna read a couple verses out of Genesis. I was actually gonna go a little further with this, but I decided not to. I ain't gonna go too much further with this. I think I kind of went far enough with this video. But in Genesis, now that we heard the book of Enoch, it kind of makes Genesis sound a little more clear to me. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. That's Genesis 1:3-6. And then you go down to 14, and it said, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser night to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. Yeah. So that's as far as I'm going with this. I actually thought about going a little further, and I'm like, let me hold off and just keep this simple. Just kind of talk about the moon phases and everything. So, and I'm gonna save the rest maybe for later. Maybe some Sabbath days, from my belief, and the days that I take off, maybe I'll try to do like little videos like this. I don't know. Let me know if you like it. If you do like it, then I love talking about this stuff. It's just really very interesting to me, and I really like it a lot. And I have a few friends that I talk about the Bible a lot with, and so I don't know, maybe I can come up with some other stuff like this. So I hope you enjoyed your Sabbath day, since it landed on Sunday. And yeah, I'm gonna take the rest of the day off. I got me a load of firewood. I got me some little bit of old dry, really super dry old oak and some pine that were laying up off the ground for a long time. So I love that. I love the real dry oak and pine because it burns great. And I pretty much burn fires every night and every morning, so I gotta stay stocked up on that. Anyway, hope y'all have had a great weekend. Hope you're trying to do your best to take that mandatory blessed day that God gave you to relax and take it easy, and not being out slaving for money. I'll talk to y'all later.